Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, CEO at Oaknoll. I'm recording this video the afternoon of Monday, February 3rd. It will be uploaded and available to you sometime on Tuesday, February 4th. I want to thank Retha Haas and Amber Jedlicka for recording the weekly video updates the last couple of times. And you may have noticed that we missed last week. That is my fault. I was just a little bit behind in terms of catching up from being away on vacation. And also, it was an especially busy week for Kim Herring. Kim is our marketing director, and she is the person who actually records the video, edits it, and then does her magic to get it uploaded to all of you. Kim was busy with the monthly Acorns newsletter for the month of February and the Snowball Soiree, which happened last Friday evening. Hopefully, those of you who attended the dinner or the event last Friday enjoyed the dinner, the music, and the dancing. We had about 80 people who participated in that event, and then we also had a couple people who came up after dinner just to enjoy the music. I want to thank our dining services team for hosting such a beautiful, wonderful dinner. There's a lot of planning and preparation that goes into that, along with the execution and service of that meal. So thank you to dining services. I also want to thank our events planning team that did all of the planning and coordination and setup for that event. And it takes a large group of people to pull off something like that, and all of them made great contributions to that team. So thank you to the events planning team. And then finally, one more thank you to Kim Herring, Cam Outwater, and Lindsay Moore for producing the small promotional video that aired for the last couple of weeks in our weekly videos promoting the Snowball Soiree. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I know our team enjoyed putting it on for you. As I mentioned, I was out of the office not last week, but the week before. My wife and I have been fortunate enough to spend many of our birthday weeks over the last decade or so away from Iowa, either in the Dominican Republic or Jamaica or someplace nice and warm. We made a vow when my wife turned 50 about a decade ago that whenever possible we would spend our birthdays on the beach, in the ocean, and it was possible this year. We timed it just perfectly as well. Usually it's unseasonably warm when we are away in January. This time, unfortunately, it was unseasonably cold for those of you who were here, but it's like we had a great time, and it's like I'm almost fully caught up from being away for that week. To the best of my knowledge, we don't have any COVID cases or RSV cases. We do have one confirmed influenza case that just was diagnosed earlier today with somebody in independent living. And just a reminder, if you are not feeling well, please, the best way that we can stop the spread of anything like influenza or COVID is if you're not feeling well to please stay home. Order a meal tray. We can do that and support you in your apartment. But if you're not feeling well, please stay home, and just a reminder to wash your hands frequently. That's probably the best way that we can stop the spread of any disease like that. So one influenza case, no COVID case, no RSV cases. The new windows on first and second floor are in. They are working hard on the framing or the drywall work actually inside the building. That is progressing nicely, and we expect that within the next 2 weeks that project will be finished. It does look different than it did previously, but there's still lots of natural light in the hallways, both on first floor outside the studio and second floor outside of the Hope dining area and cafe. Also, one thing that we learned as the old windows and walls were being removed is that there was absolutely no insulation in that outer wall. So as they put this project back together and frame up those windows and do the drywall, we're actually adding a whole bunch of insulation. So from a climate control standpoint, both in the summer and in the winter, it should be much more comfortable in those hallways than it has ever been. And again, that project should be finished in the next couple of weeks. Health center census continues to be very close to capacity. Today we are at 57 of the 58 spaces occupied. We do have 4 open apartments in assisted living today. There is one transition actively in process that should happen by about mid-February, and the other 3 apartments that are open in assisted living, our social work team and our assisted living team are working to try to find matches. We always have people that are in independent living that are kind of right on the edge of a transition, and they're working through that group of people and trying to find a match for the spaces that we have available. We are also working on a plan to take 2 of the small, at least 1, maybe 2 of the small assisted living apartments and make them into respite rooms. So if we are full in the health center, we would be able to care for people in the assisted living setting if they didn't need skilled nursing care but just needed some additional support as they're recovering from either illness or injury or something like that. So that process is underway. I would imagine that within the next 4 weeks or so, we will have at least one of those apartments set up to provide respite care for somebody that may need that extra support. The construction of the small house is going well. I've had the opportunity to be in that building now a couple of different times over the last month. It feels much bigger when you're inside than it looks from outside. The common area space, the great room, is just going to be such good space for the residents who live there. And the 12 private rooms are really comfortably sized. I think once we're able to show that to everybody, you're really going to like what that building will offer. And I want to thank everybody who has contributed so far to the project. As of today, we have received just over $750,000 of contributions to help us pay for the project. We also have indications of support of another 100,000. So if all of those come through, we would be at $854,000 worth of support for that project. We are so close to $1 million. I would like to get to that $1 million threshold. It just sounds like a nice round number, and that would be a huge accomplishment for our community. To get there, we still have 2 of the 12 rooms that don't have the $50,000 room sponsors. It would be fantastic. If you are somebody who's thinking about doing a room sponsorship, there is still room for you. And for $50,000, we would have a room that is sponsored by you, and there would be permanent recognition in the building of your sponsorship of those rooms. So if we could get those last 2 rooms sponsored, that would only leave us $45,000 short of the $1 million goal. And we can get there through small contributions of $100, $1,000, $5,000, whatever you are able to contribute to that project is absolutely appreciated. So please consider making a gift to the Oaknoll Foundation to help us get to that $1 million threshold. I hope you're all doing well. I will see you again in 3 weeks. Take care.